World War II started primarily due to a combination of long-term and short-term causes. Long-term causes. Treaty of Versailles. The harsh terms imposed on Germany by the Treaty of Versailles after World War I left the country economically devastated and fueled resentment and a desire for revenge. Many Germans felt the treaty was unfair and sought to overturn its provisions. Rise of totalitarian regimes. In the 1930s, aggressive and expansionist regimes came to power in several major countries. Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler sought territorial expansion and the domination of Europe. Similarly, Italy under Benito Mussolini pursued expansion in Africa and the Mediterranean. Appeasement. In the face of aggression by these regimes, the policy of appeasement was followed by Britain and France, which involved making concessions to avoid conflict. However, this only emboldened aggressor nations. Short-term causes, German aggression. The immediate trigger for World War II was the invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany on September 1, 1939. This act of aggression violated international agreements and prompted a swift response from Britain and France, who declared war on Germany on September 3, 1939. Soviet invasion of Poland. On September 17, 1939, the Soviet Union, led by Joseph Stalin, also invaded Poland from the east, effectively dividing the country with Germany. Escalation. Following the invasion of Poland, a series of events and invasions by Germany in Western Europe, including the rapid defeat of France in 1940, further escalated the conflict. Certainly. The history of World War II is extensive, so I'll provide a more detailed overview of the war's key events, divided into chronological sections. Pre-war tensions and early aggression, 1939-1940. In 1939, Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, signed a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and invaded Poland on September 1, 1939. This invasion prompted Britain and France to declare war on Germany on September 3, 1939, marking the official start of World War II. Germany's blitzkrieg tactics quickly overwhelmed Poland. In 1940, Germany invaded Denmark and Norway and launched a stunningly successful invasion of France and the Low Countries. Winston Churchill became Prime Minister of Britain during this period and delivered his famous "We shall fight on the beaches" speech. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, drawing the United States into the war. The U.S. and its allies began a campaign against Japan in the Pacific Theater. In North Africa, British forces battled German and Italian troops in campaigns like the Siege of Tobruk. By 1942, the Axis powers had made significant territorial gains. 4. Turning points. 1942-1943. The Battle of Stalingrad, 1942-1943, was a major turning point on the Eastern Front, where the Soviets defeated the Germans. In the Pacific, key battles like Midway and Guadalcanal shifted momentum in favor of the Allies. In North Africa, British forces led by General Montgomery defeated Rommel's Afrika Korps. 5. Allied offensives and liberation, 1943-1944. The Allies launched invasions of Italy and liberated Rome in 1944. D-Day on June 6, 1944, saw the Allied invasion of Normandy, France, opening up a second front in Europe. Soviet forces continued their advance from the east. By late 1944, the Allies had gained the upper hand in both Europe and the Pacific. 6. Final stages and conclusion, 1945. In early 1945, Allied forces crossed the Rhine into Germany. On April 30, 1945, Hitler committed suicide as Soviet forces closed in on Berlin. Germany surrendered unconditionally on May 7, 1945. In the Pacific, intense battles continued, but Japan's situation grew increasingly desperate. The U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima August 6th and Nagasaki August 9th, leading to Japan's surrender on August 15, 1945, and the formal surrender ceremony on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri. 7. Aftermath. World War II had a profound impact on the world, leading to the establishment of the United Nations, the division of Germany, and the beginning of the Cold War. The Nuremberg trials held Nazi leaders accountable for war crimes and crimes against humanity. The Holocaust, during which millions were systematically murdered, remains one of the darkest chapters in human history. This is a condensed overview of World War II, and there are many more details and sub-events within this complex and significant historical period. World War II featured a wide variety of firearms and weapons used by the different nations involved. Here are some of the main types of guns and firearms used during the war. Bolt-action rifles. The Lee-Enfield was used by the British and Commonwealth forces. The Mauser Karabiner 98K was the standard rifle for German forces. The Mosin Nagant was used by Soviet forces. Semi-automatic and automatic rifles. The M1 Garand was the standard issue rifle for U.S. forces. The Soviet Union had the SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle. Germany used the Gewehr 43. Submachine guns. The Thompson submachine gun, often called the Tommy gun, was used by U.S. and Allied forces. The MP-40 was a German submachine gun. The Soviet Union used the PPSH-41, known for its high rate of fire. Machine guns, the Browning automatic rifle, BR, was used by U.S. forces. The MG-34 and later MG-42 were the standard German machine guns. The Soviet DP-27 and later the Degtyaryov machine gun were used by Soviet forces. Handguns. The Colt M1911 was the standard issue sidearm for the U.S. military. The Luger P08 was a German pistol. The Tokarev TT-33 was a Soviet semi-automatic pistol. The Tokarev TT-33 was a Soviet semi-automatic pistol. Shotguns. The Winchester model. 1897 and model 1912 were used by U.S. forces. Shotguns were also used for various purposes such as guarding prisoners and in close combat. Sniper rifles. The Springfield M1903A4 and M1C, as well as the M19903A1 with a scope, were used by U.S. snipers. The Mosin Nagant sniper rifle was used by Soviet snipers. The Karabiner 98K could be fitted with a scope for sniping by German forces. Anti-tank weapons, Panzerfaust and Panzerschreck, were handheld anti-tank weapons used by German infantry. The bazooka and Payat, projector infantry anti-tank, were used by Allied forces. The Soviet Union had the PTRD and PTRS anti-tank rifles. Light machine guns. The Bren gun was used by British and Commonwealth forces. The British Vickers K gun was used in aircraft. The Soviet DP-28 was used as a light machine gun. Heavy machine guns. The British Vickers. Machine gun was used in various roles. The German MG-34 and MG-42 mentioned earlier were also used in heavy roles. These are just some of the firearms and weapons used during World War II. The war saw significant advancements in firearm technology and the widespread use of automatic and semi-automatic weapons, which had a profound impact on the tactics and strategies employed by the various armed force. World War II was one of the deadliest conflicts in human history, resulting in the loss of a vast number of lives. While the exact number of casualties can vary depending on the source and the criteria used, it is estimated that military casualties, approximately 70 to 85 million military personnel served during the war. The total number of military deaths is estimated to be between 15 and 20 million. Civilian casualties, which include those killed as a result of bombings, occupation, and other wartime activities. Estimates of civilian deaths range from 45 to 55 million.
Thank you for watching video. Please subscribe for more interesting videos.